Have you ever heard of Napoleon Hill's classic, Think and Grow Rich? For almost 100 years now, it's been promising readers this single, powerful secret to success. A secret that was supposedly the hidden engine behind some of the greatest fortunes ever built. Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to see if we can unlock it together. So the story goes like this. The great industrialist Andrew Carnegie basically challenged a young Napoleon Hill to find and share a secret he claimed was responsible for his own insane wealth. And Carnegie said, look, this isn't just my secret. He said he passed it on to titans of the time, guys like Edison, Ford, and Rockefeller. The key here is that this wasn't some abstract theory. It was a real-world playbook used by the most successful people on the planet. So what is this thing? Is it some complicated formula, some piece of lost wisdom? Well, Hill's first clue is that the secret isn't something you can buy or find. It's actually already inside you. The whole thing starts with a really simple but profound idea. You have complete and total control over your own mind. And the very first way you use that power is with something Hill calls definiteness of purpose. Now, this is so much more than just having a goal. We're talking about knowing with absolute, laser-like precision exactly what you want. No kinda, no maybes. Hill says this is the absolute non-negotiable starting point for any great achievement. And you can just feel the intensity in his language here. He's so clear about this. A mild wish or a faint hope, that's not going to cut it. It has to be an intense, all-consuming, burning desire. An obsession, really. That is the fuel you need to even start the engine. And this isn't just theory, right? Take Henry Ford. He had this definite desire to build his famous V8 motor, with all 8 cylinders cast in one single block. His own engineers, the experts, they told him flat out, it's impossible. But Ford's desire was absolute. His response was simple: produce it anyway. So, for a full year, his team tried and failed. They came back to him, again, saying it couldn't be done. But Ford didn't even blink. His command was exactly the same. Go right ahead, I want it, and I'll have it. You know, it was that sheer, stubborn determination, born from that unwavering desire, that literally forced the impossible to become possible. And soon enough, his engineers found the way. Which brings us to another amazing story. And it all starts with this number, $1 million. I mean, just imagine what a staggering amount of money that was back then. So for 2 long years, this young preacher named Frank Gonzalez just sort of vaguely wished for $1 million to build a new kind of college. And guess what? Nothing happened. But then one day, everything changed. That foggy wish turned into a solid, definite decision with a hard deadline. He didn't just hope for the money anymore. He declared, I will have it within 1 week. So what was the result? He got the $4 million within 36 hours of making that decision. It's an incredible example of this principle, right? It's like knowing exactly what you want sends out a signal, and opportunities just seem to line up in response. Okay, but a burning desire, even a really definite one, isn't enough by itself. That's just the starting line. You also have to be willing to pay what it takes to win, and Hill calls this the persistence test. Hill basically personifies failure. He calls it old man failure, and he says there's one thing it simply can't handle: persistence. Failure will test you, for sure. It'll knock you down. But if you just refuse to stay down, eventually failure gets bored and just leaves. Hill even suggests we should completely reframe how we think about this. Imagine that life has this hidden guide that throws discouraging setbacks at you just to test your resolve. It's a really powerful mindset shift. The people who endure, the ones who prove they can take a hit and keep going, they're the ones who get the big rewards. Suddenly, every failure is just a test of character, not the end of the story. 36. Doesn't seem like a huge number on its own, does it? But just wait till you hear what it represents in this next story about persistence. Get this, the writer Fannie Hurst got 36 rejection slips, not from 36 different places, no, from one single publisher for the same story. Her mindset was just bulletproof. She absolutely refused to quit, and eventually the world just had to give in to her persistence. All right, so we've got desire, we've got persistence, but to really use them, you first have to deal with the enemies inside your own head. Hill calls them your inner ghosts, the things that sabotage you from the inside out. Hill boils it down to these 6 fundamental fears that he says are the root of almost all our worries. The fear of poverty, of what other people think, of getting sick, of losing love, of getting old, and of death.
I mean, when you look at them, these are really deep primal fears, and he argues they totally paralyze our minds and we absolutely have to master them.
So, just for a second, be honest with yourself. Which one of these ghosts is haunting you? It's a super important question because, as Helm explains, just identifying them, just giving them a name, that's the very first step to taking away their power.
And it's not just fear. Hill also lists these common habits that lead straight to failure, things like procrastination and indecision. And the really crucial insight here is that Hill doesn't see these as permanent parts of your personality. He sees them as bad habits. And you know what? Habits can be broken. They can be unlearned and replaced with their powerful, positive opposites. Okay, this is it. We've gathered all the clues: definite desire, unshakable persistence, and mastery over your inner fears. It's time to put all the pieces together and unlock the secret itself.
And here it is, the big secret that Carnegie passed down. It's not some complicated system. It is one single, profound realization. You are the master of your fate for one reason and one reason only, because you have the absolute power to control your own thoughts. I mean, think about it. Your thoughts create your desires. Your thoughts fuel your persistence. Your thoughts conquer your fears. If you can control your mind, you can control your destiny. That is the secret. So this isn't just a feel-good idea. It's an actual, actionable process. Here's how it works. Step 1, you create a burning desire for something super specific. Step 2, you build a definite plan to get it. Step 3, you apply relentless persistence no matter what gets in your way. And step 4, you consciously master those inner fears that try to stop you. So the final takeaway is this massive shift in your mindset. Success and wealth aren't just a reward for working hard. They're the natural result of making definite demands on life, backed by a clear plan and a will that won't break. It's a shift from just hoping for the best to demanding the best from yourself and having a plan to make it reality. And with that, Hill leaves us with this final, powerful idea. He says life is like a checkerboard, and your opponent on the other side is time. And time doesn't make allowances. It doesn't tolerate indecision. You now have the master key. So the only question left is, what's your next move?